ban.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're ahead of schedule. What? Yeah, I don't know. 5 minutes ahead of schedule. I was still getting ready and stuff, and I was like, oh wait, the game's up. What? What's going on here? But yeah, so we're a little late into the draft. Once again, guys, I'm Niz. Welcome to NizCast. We're casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 7. We're in Group D. We've got our third match of the night, our winner's match, and it's going to be against View 6, which is actually EverNovaS, and they're going up against Digital Chaos. Of course, we had EverNovaS beat Enemy GG, and we had Digital Chaos make quick work of the Drinking Boys in our second game of the night. As for our draft, let's go through it real quickly. Our bans: Wisp, Timbersaw, Death Prophet, Slider, and Queen of Pain banned out by EverNovaS. Bounty Hunter, Alchemist, Enchantress, Invoker, and Puck banned out by Digital Chaos. Our picks: Doom, Lion, Darkseer, Morphling, and we're waiting the fifth. And Phoenix, Beastmaster, Tusk, and Gyrocopter picked up by Digital Chaos. So where do we stand? Darkseer in the offlane. Doom looks like at the moment going to be position 4 in the jungle with Morphling safe lane, babysat by the Lion. So they're looking to pick up a mid laner. As for Digital Chaos, we got Beastmaster in the off lane. Tusk and Phoenix has the two supports with Gyrocopter safe lane, and we're waiting for a mid laner for them. And it's going to be a Phantom Lancer picked up by EverNovaS to go in the mid lane, and we are all caught up. And Tom, I'm sorry. I know yesterday you were complaining that we were starting a minute late. And now we're starting early. Yes. Just can't rely on the schedule, man. You can't rely on the schedule. Take to Twitter and complain. But it's going to be a Lone Druid pickup for Digital Chaos. So we're going to see the wee Lone Druid. As I'm quickly making some notes here. Alright. There we go. We're all caught up. As thankfully the players are giving me a little bit of time here. Of course it has absolutely nothing to do with me, but we'll thank them nonetheless.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we hop into the game and immediately we have a pause. But just a reminder, guys, like I said, this is the Dota 2 Canada Cup. If you want to find out more about the scheduling and everything about the Dota 2 Canada Cup, you can go to dota2.ca/schedule, and you can see the entire schedule there, including the playoffs. Of course, we're finishing the group stage here tonight, but the playoffs will be starting tomorrow. Or at least we've got tentatively set 2 matches. We've got quarterfinal 1, which is between Team Freedom and the team that finished second in this group, and quarterfinal 4, which is between FDL and the team that finishes first in this group, which would be the winner of the match we're about to watch. So that's when the playoffs are scheduled to start, starting tomorrow night at 6 with that FDL versus the first place or the winner of this match. And those are best of 3s. So we could very well have anywhere from 4 to 6 games tomorrow. There are tentative dates highlighted in red there, indicating that the second of those 2 may not stick to its schedule, but we'll see. Either way, we've got plenty of matches coming up for the playoffs. We've got the 13th, the 14th, and then we take a little bit of a break. And, oh, actually, the 21st is a little bit later for quarterfinal 3 between Complexity and Shazam. But we go right into the losers bracket where we've got the 17th and 18th and stuff like that. So plenty of games still to come. But we've got a resumption? I don't even think that's a word still. I'm saying it wrong if it is, but I don't even think it's a word. Either way, the game has started. We're no longer paused, so let's introduce our teams and our players. On our Radiant side is going to be Digital Chaos. We got Misery playing the Phoenix. Saxa is going to be on the Tusk. Resolution is playing the Gyrocopter. Wee is going to be on the Lone Druid. And Moo is going to be playing the Beastmaster. As for our dire side, it's going to be EverNovaS. We've got Way2 playing the Doom. Boris is going to be playing the Darkseer. Demon is going to be playing the Lion once again. We got Yawar on the Phantom Lancer. And Kushu, which is, I believe, Justin, playing the Morphling.
30 seconds to battle.
Now that we're all caught up and we've introduced everyone, we've got a Wraithband recipe on resolution. But everyone else starting with, I guess, pretty standard starting items. We do have a smoke on both the Tusk and the Doom. And beyond that, we've got boots first starting for Saxa on the Tusk. We saw last game, it was a Windlace to start things off.
The battle begins.
It looks like they're going to completely back up. Is they're going to go and block the bottom lane here? Either way, we've got the bounty runes are split between what we suspect to be the two mid laners. We've got Lone Druid for Digital Chaos going up against Phantom Lancer for EverNovaS. As see Doom doing a little bit of body block in there as he heads towards the jungle. We expect him to stay there as position 4. Top lane, we're going to have a safe lane farming Morphling, babysat by a Lion, going up against an off-lane Beastmaster. And in the bottom lane, it's going to be an off-lane Darkseer going up against safe lane farming Gyrocopter, babysat by both a Tusk and a Phoenix. But of course, we expect that Tusk to roam around a little bit more as Boris comes up, places that Sentry Ward, as he actually had dropped them off to the side here, not showing them to the opponent, which is a little bit weird, but... Yeah, I mentioned a Demon was playing the Lion last game, but I guess the story of last game was Resolution, who he was just not touched pretty much all game long. He had a dream start on the Lifestealer in the safe lane, and then he was able to take not one, but 2 towers in the bottom lane. And there was just nothing that they could do after they gave him a little bit of space there. He pretty much flawlessly soaked up all that gold and just became a big, big bad Lifestealer. But I think there was a lot more problems on the side of DKBs than just their ability to shut down the hard carry on the side of Digital Chaos. But in EverNova's match, they did a pretty damn good job against enemy GGO. There was the laning phase was, I guess, pretty stable, kind of uneventful. And mid-game was, I mean, also, I guess, a little bit slow. But I just got a little bit later into the game, things kind of picked up, and then they really kind of took control of the game. So we'll see if this game takes similar course.
By the beast.
Demon rotated away from the top lane. He's picked up a double damage rune. This is a very tough kill, though, on a Lone Druid. And yeah, I think he's going to think better of it and start heading back up towards the top lane. And there he goes. He's going to go in behind Moo in the top lane. He might be in range to get a stun here. It's going to be close. He does get the Hex off, so he will be able to get the stun as well. And are the right clicks there? The answer is yes, because we've got a waveform from Justin. Our first blood is on the board. Going to the Morphling. Meanwhile, we've got Digital Chaos keeping their Tusk in the bottom lane, really trying to shut down that Darkseer. See, Boris is still at level 1, and now he's going to kind of give up and go and wipe out the Satyr. Should give him level 2, or no, he's going to skip past it, and he's going to go all the way to the jungle. Saxa. He's coming in, he's like, I'm not going to let you do that. And maybe Boris was already aware of what was going to be going on there, so he just skipped right past it and went to the other camp. And on the respawn, we see actually Moo not going back to the off lane. He's just going to go into the jungle and farm up this camp while the creep wave still pushed up in the lane. Now he's going to buy a Quelling Blade, so maybe he's going to stay there for a bit. And now we see EverNovaS rotating the Lion down towards the bottom lane. So this is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the night. The offlaner getting forced to abandon the lane, and then they already acknowledged the fact that that's going to happen in the draft, and at the start of the game, knowing that's going to happen, and there's already contingency in place where, okay, our offlaner most likely is going to have to abandon the lane. We'll transfer one of our supports down there to soak up any XP that they can, and obviously any gold that they can, but also to somewhat keep the enemy team's supports down there, trying to deny whatever they can from, not denying creeps, but denying the space in the bottom lane to make sure that the new offlaner doesn't get any XP. Of course, if you just leave the one support down there against your against your carry should be able to hold his own, especially with the gyrocopter, but he's still going to be somewhat interfered with by the Lion. But now that the creep wave comes back towards the tower, Boris comes back down there and joins up with Demon. He's got action in the top lane. Sax is going to go down, and Way2 is going to try to chase after Misery here, as Misery's down to 130 HP. They don't have enough to be able to finish this off. They've already used the waveform. It just comes off cooldown now, which I believe he should have enough mana to use with his magic wand, as he just ticks up to enough. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like it's pretty much even between the two. We've got 27 and 6 CS on Wii, and Yoar sitting at 26 and 8. So pretty much dead even in the mid lane. As we got Resolution getting delivered on top of Demon there by Saxa, as he picked him up in the snowball, but Demon's going to be okay.
Radiant's top
Mu
tower
continues
is
to
under
jungle.
attack.
But Justin's already up to the tier 1 tower, and now Mu's going to come out of the jungle and make sure that Justin doesn't get free hits on those towers there, and any XP coming from that creep wave is going to be soaked up by Mu. Meanwhile, we've got an entangle in the mid lane as Yoar drops down to
Radiant's
3/4
top
HP.
tower is under attack.
So we're just going to do a little bit of bottle crowing there from Yoar, as Justin's pushed up past the tower, and he's going to have to walk back past the tower again, but we did have a TP into the top lane. Now we've got two people smoked up. It's going to be Demon and Way2 as they're going to start making their way towards the mid, as we've got level 4.5 on both of them. But we've already got to dive past the towers. Yoar is going to get entangled once again, and he's dead. But are they going to be able to get on out of here safely? It's Misery and Saxa. Is Misery going to turn around and go for the beam? But he's going to tick out to the Scorched Earth from Way2. As Demon, Justin, and Way2 going to try to get a kill here on Wii, and it looks like it's going to be successful. So Digital Chaos dive past that tier 1 tower. They get the intended target of the Phantom Lancer. The problem is that they don't get out of there safely. So they lose their Phoenix and they lose their mid laners. Boris looks like he got low in the bottom lane as well, as there was a call down used. But he'll back to Fountain, get his HP back up, and head back to lane. With all those rotations, Mu just kind of stayed up in the top lane, got a little bit of golden experience. He's now level 6, so Primal Roar is available for him. This Justin's going to wipe out a few of those boars, and Misery starts heading up here as well, as he's nearing on level 5. So we quickly jump around, see. Okay, it's level 5.5 for Demon, and Way2's also at 5.5. So both close to level 6 is... Oh, they might be able to get the wraparound here onto Mu. They're close, so once again leading with the Hex as Phoenix shows he's in the trees there as Misery comes out, but he's not going to be able to save Mu, and now Icarus dives over all those heroes. Sax is going to toss an Ice Shards, just going to prevent Way2's retreat. But another kill on the board for EverNovaS as they move ahead 5-1. And I spoke about in the first match we saw from Digital Chaos tonight of, just because Digital Chaos is kind of the favorites to win the group here, doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to win the group, or don't kind of assume that they're going to win the group, because Group A, Complexity, definitely favored to win that group. They ended up placing second to EverNova, not EverNovaS, EverNova. But they ended up finishing second. But still, that doesn't mean that Digital Chaos is going to finish first. And the winner of this group is guaranteed first in the group. So Digital Chaos is going to have to look to come back in this game right now, as they're down 5 kills to 1. And so far, EverNova's got... they've got control of the map. and of the game. There is one thing though. Resolution once again has just been free farming away. He doesn't have the same kind of CS that Justin does on the Morphling. He's actually behind by 11 CS right now. So that's one thing to keep note of, but Yoar and Demon smoked up and they're going for a gank here. Their smoke will get popped by Moo and Misery. And Resolution's in good positioning below his tier 1 tower. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to go on him. So they'll just go back to farming here as they're going to stand, all three of them kind of huddled up on top of a Radiant Observer Ward. We've got Moo farming in the mid lane as he's going up against Wee, who's got Midas completed on his bear. Sax is up in the top lane. As I miss a kill in the bottom, his Resolution gets a kill on Yoar, and that was a big kill for Digital Chaos.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now once again, Justin pushing up past that tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower
Really taking control of this top lane. But in the mid lane, Resolution's coming met up with Wee. And Glyph's going to get used, but this tier 1 tower is going to go down. Wee's going to get the last hit as there's action in the bottom lane. As Demon's going to use the finger to finish off Misery there. As Resolution's going to TP in, call down. Demon will just barely get out of the area of effect of that. But will Resolution be able to catch on up to him? He does have the faster move speed. He's going to use the Rocket Barrage as Demon's going to try to TP out but not going to be successful. Very close to doing so though.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Justin, by cutting that creep wave, put more pressure on that tier 1 tower, and now he's able to get the last hit and finish it off. As Way2 had that little bit of space in the mid lane. He's now up to level 7, so Doom is online. And Yoar's going to be farming now in the mid lane as he's level 8. Look for them to use that Doom. As now they've rotated Justin down towards the bottom, so maybe this is the moment where they're going to have Justin in the bottom and maybe swing Boris up to the top lane. For the time being right now, he's down in the bottom as Demon and Way2 come down smoked up. We actually have all 5 members from EverNovaS down here as they're going to look to maybe hard engage on these heroes under the tier 1 towers. It's just Wee and Misery right now. And the Bear's going to come out doing a little bit of harassing on Yoar. And with the creep wave under tower, this might be a moment for them to dive, but here comes Resolution TPing in, and he's just going to charge forward, go right on to Justin. We got another TP coming in from Saxas. Calldown's going to get placed. It's not really going to hit anyone. It's more disengaging, but now it's going to hit a few as they walk into it. As Justin's going to man up on Resolution at the bottom of the screen. Meanwhile, Demon is going to go down at the top. Doom's getting used on Resolution. He's going to tick out from that. He's Yoar taking a lot of damage, and he's going to go down. I think there was actually a deny I saw there. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, Justin in a man fight with Moo at the bottom. Justin waveforms into the trees, and now he's trying to escape the beam from the Phoenix. He doesn't have the ability to TP out because he didn't have a TP on him, but he will buy one in a stash and transfer it to his inventory now. But when it's all said and done, we have 3 heroes dead on the side of EverNovaS and just the 1 on the side of Digital Chaos. As EverNovaS, they had the right idea, grouping up and going for that aggressive play, diving the tier 1 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But they didn't go immediately. They waited a little bit. Then those TPs came in, and there was no hesitation from Digital Chaos. They just went right into the team fight. And that initial call down, no one was in the center of it.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
But because of the nature of the fight, there was a few heroes that actually walked into it. Demon was one of them. Justin was another one. So the call down, although it wasn't, it didn't initially appear to be placed all that well. It was definitely placed well based on how that team fight was going to play out. So good call there from Resolution. Good call down. Good call. I didn't mean that pun at all. I'm sorry. But either way, it's a win for Digital Chaos. Yeah, as I said, they need to do something to get back in the game. They were down 5 kills to 1. Now they're only down by 1 hero kill, 7-6. As we're 14 minutes in this game, when we switch on over to our net worth, we see that Justin's still our leader at 6.7k net worth. Right behind him is Wee at 6.3, as he's now up to 2,600 gold as he's working towards his relic. Then we've got Resolution at 5.8, almost 5.9. Then Moo at 4.3. And then we've got Yawar 4.3 as well. And Boris at 4.2. And that's going to round it up for all our cores. One of the big difference makers is going to be the Doom, though, at 3.8k. As that position 4, obviously, he's going to have a lot more gold than the Tusk. But at the same time, the Phoenix has a lot more gold than the Lion, so that affected the Doom is effectively cancelled out.
Tower is under attack.
And the two supports, when you add them up, are pretty damn even. We're going to have our first Primal Roar used of the game, I think, as it's going to get used onto Justin, as he's going to get caught down, double hit by the call down. And he is so slow right now. Those boars slowing him down so much. His Demon's going to try to run for his life here. He's got an urn on him. And Heat-Seeking Missile's actually going to be on way to, who will just barely get the TP finished. And now the Ice Shards comes just a little bit too late, as Demon TP's out as well. So EverNovaS loses loses their Morphling, but I think they're still lucky to get out of there without losing any more heroes. They very easily could have ended up losing another, maybe even a second or third. Either way, to take a quick look at our gold graph now that we're even up 7 kills apiece. It's 2,000 gold lead for Digital Chaos. As we're going to have a Surge used here on Demon as he's going to charge down the lane, looking for an opening there on Wii. But not going to get it. Justin TP's up to the top lane where he'll start farming and try to work towards finishing that Linken's. A lot of heroes here from EverNovaS, somewhat grouped up. There is a smoke on Demon, so they might use that. And yeah, pings just come out as it's already been drawn on the map. So if they smoke now, this is incredibly obvious. But they're not going to. But either way, Misery was on top of that. Now EverNovaS is using the scan on the Ancients, as this is a big stack here. This is going to be a lot of gold for Resolution. Yawar and Demon start moving down towards the bottom as Resolution keeps working on this. He started at 160 gold. His Misery is hiding in the trees here below his tier 1 tower. But he does have Icarus Dive available, so he should be fine. His Resolution just about to finish that stack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's basically 1,500 gold that he got for that as the bottom tier 1 tower goes down there, as you are getting the last hit.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
You know, Resolution's going to move up into the mid lane and start pressuring this tier 2 tower. But those heroes from the bottom, they were starting to rotate up, but did Digital Chaos see them go into Roche Pit? They must have. But as I say that, Resolution made the move from the mid lane up towards the jungle, kind of moving away from the rotation of those heroes that just took that bottom tier 1 tower. So it looks like EverNovaS may be able to snake Roche here, but as I say that, here comes Digital Chaos as Roche down to less than 1,000 HP. As Justin keeps working on it, Doom's going to get cast onto Misery, and Roche will go down. The Aegis will get denied by the Lone Druid Bear as Justin didn't pick it up. So great play there by Wii, but EverNovaS has already lost 2 heroes as Justin's going to jump out of the Roche Pit there and meet up with Yawar, as both of them were already backing away. As now S and Y gets completed by Resolution, but great deny there by Wii. As it looked like EverNovaS was going to be able to snake Roche there. Then there was a little hesitation. They kind of peeled away, made sure that they weren't all grouped up in Roche and tried to control some space. Justin worked away at it, and I think he must have thought that he had dropped an item and then he went to pick up the Aegis and maybe he picked up his item. I don't know what happened, but he killed Roche and then he walked away from it. And the Aegis was just lying on the ground and the bear walked in and auto-attacked it and killed it. And then Justin turned around to go back for it and he realized that it wasn't there anymore. So we're going to have an engage here from EverNovaS. They're just going to focus on the bear and they're going to get it. But it's going to get immediate respawn from Wii, as all his gold's pretty much on that bear. with Radiance completed. That's a huge chunk of change right now. As Veil gets completed by Misery. Meanwhile, Moo's got his Necrobook 3 recipe completed, so he'll start moving on to his next item. 1,400 gold up on Saksa. And we just saw Misery complete his item. Resolutions picked up an Ogre Club. Like I said, finished his Sanjinyasha. But the Ogre Club's probably indicating a BKB as his next item. Pretty standard build from the Gyrocopters. We're going to have a smoke from either side, and they're going to clash in the middle of the Radiant jungle here. As Resolution's leading the way, he's going to pop that smoke. They're going to try to open up on him. Great bait there from Resolution. Will they be able to capitalize as I'm trying not to die here? As Misery's going to go on to Demon. Meanwhile, at the top, though, we've got Yawara into trouble, and he's going to go down to the axes from Moo. So EverNovaS goes for the smoke play. And it just doesn't work out for them because they run into a smoke play from Digital Chaos. And once again, great bait from Resolution there. EverNovaS bites, because that's exactly what they were looking for. They wanted to go and find the Gyrocopter, and they found him. But he baited them perfectly into his team. As Resolution continues to impress in these games. He's now 4-0-3 right now. Top net worth in the game, 11,000 net worth. And 148 and 14 CS just 20 minutes into this game. As Misery's going to jump in and meet up with Saksa. As they're going to go and focus down this Doom, and it is dead. Now they just realize it's an illusion. Morphling illusion. Replica, I guess. As Justin was pushing in the top lane. But he'll TP away. It was just the lone Druid Bear on him. As now it'll wipe out the creep wave up there in the top, just using that Radiance Burn. Of course it can't attack because Wee's all the way in the mid lane with his team. Working on the tier 3. Tier 3 is going to go down as Blink Dagger gets purchased by Saksa. So, Digital Chaos moves away from the mid lane. They start taking control of this dire jungle, and right now they have so much control of the map. I'd like to see them get some deep observer wards. They only have this one up right now in the bottom lane, but there's really only one up from EverNovaS as well, as it's deep in the Radiant jungle. So really not much vision up from either side. So I'm going to switch on over to Radiant Vision right now, and you can look at the minimap, see who's got vision of what, and Dire Vision. So really not much vision on either side. What's giving the majority of the vision from Radiant is just the fact that they still have all these towers up, whereas, you know, you look at the Dire side, and they have so many towers that are down. This is the only tier 2 tower left standing, and it looks like it's going to get destroyed here.
Tower is under attack.
As the demon will kill the Hawk there. That was scouting from Moo. But we're going to have another smoke, and immediately it gets pinged out by Saksa, indicating that there was a smoke used there by EverNovaS. I guess it was lingering vision still from the Hawk. I'm not sure exactly how they saw that. But now Moo will actually pop the smoke of Justin, who will jump up onto the high ground. Moo's invis is about to wear off. He did just purchase a Blink Dagger, but it's not on his hero. And an EverNovaS scan's going to catch one hero there from Digital Chaos. It was Moo. So he was rotating by the Dire side Ancients. But all these moments where we don't really see much happening, this definitely favors DC as they're able to farm more of the map. But now, when they're spread out like this, they can get caught off as Demon's going to find an opening here onto Wee. So he stuns him up, even throws out the finger. They're going to use Vacuum to bring him back. But here comes all the members of DC, but just not in time as we will go down. But Moo, Saksa, and Misery were very, very close to getting there. They smoked up, and they were rotating as fast as they could, but just a little bit too late getting there. But once again, it's Resolution farming by himself. Now he'll meet up again with his team as Demon. He's going to TP back towards the mid lane. Is Moog going to jump forward, use a Primal Roar, and Demon just gets deleted from the game there as Way 2 also goes down. Both supports here on the side of EverNovaS dead. Justin going to leap on into the trees with that waveform. He's going to use his Ghost Scepter to prevent any right clicks coming in. As they're going to kill off the Morphling Replicate. Now he's got no way to escape with the exception of the waveform that way. But now Boris going to give him a surge. As Boris will just try to TP away as we got the snowball that's going to be able to catch him. And he keeps morphing, and he does another waveform. He's going to get up onto the high ground. They're going to dive into the base to go after him here. Asak's going to blink forward. He punches them, and the missile finally catches up, but it's right into the Lincolns. So, Justin stays alive for pretty much forever on that Morphling. And DC just aren't able to bring him down. So maybe that's something that's somewhat worrying. The fact that they're not able to kill that Morphling right now, despite the fact that they were pretty much all just focusing on him. And really not that contested from the members of EverNovaS, because they had already killed the two supports. Way 2's going to get punched up in the air. Ice Shard's going to come in. And once again, Way 2 just gets deleted. Huge wall vacuum coming out from Boris. But he's going to be our first casualty as Justin's going to go down as well as a buyback comes out from Boris, and good game, well played, will get called. As Yawar goes down as well as Digital Chaos takes this game in 25 minutes, and they'll take this group as they're going to finish first overall. And EverNovaS takes their first loss of the group, though we'll see them again in our 5th game of the night, where they'll be going up against the winner of our next match, which is going to be between Enemy GG and Drinking Boys. And that is scheduled to start at... is it 9:45? Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, it's 9:45. That match is set to start. Now, this one started about 5 to 10 minutes early. So maybe that next one will start early. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's set to start at 9:45. We're sitting here at 8:57 right now on my clock. That's a long time between games here, so we'll see if that game starts early. If it will, or if it does, I'll be here. But it is going to be between Enemy GG and Drinking Boys. We have Digital Chaos finishing first overall in the group, and EverNovaS, they'll be in our deciders match to find out if they finish second or third. And of course, the loser of our next match between Enemy GG and Drinking Boys will finish 4th overall in the group. But just a reminder, guys, 1st and 2nd in the group, we move into the playoffs in the uppers bracket, in the winners bracket, and 3rd and 4th in the group, they're not eliminated, they just start in the losers bracket of the playoffs. So that's how it's all going to break down. Once again, we'll have Enemy GG versus Drinking Boys in what's scheduled to be 45 minutes from now. So go grab some food, go do whatever you got to do, but be back in about 45 minutes for that match. Once again, I'm Niz. Hopefully you're enjoying the cast so far. We'll see you again soon.